Well, everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro and compare it against the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 and see which specific watch is the better one for you. Now, I will definitely tell you, if you own the Galaxy Watch 4 or even if you own the Galaxy Watch 3, I would probably recommend just keeping those watches. I think those are great watches with a ton of capability, but the Watch 5 Pro, if you have all the money in the world, I would probably recommend going for it. You know, it's a bigger watch technically, it's a thicker watch, but it has a lot more capability within it. There's a lot more features with it too, and I'm actually really happy with the way Samsung has been approaching these watches because they are honestly some of the best watches you can buy. Now, if you want to pick up either one of these watches, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these watches, the Galaxy Watch 4 came out in two different sizes. So we had that smaller size, that was I think like the 40mm size. We had a bigger size as well. Whereas on the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, we only have it in that one size, which is that 45mm size, which I think is great. You have that, awesome display with it too, which is really cool. The design is roughly around the same, so you have like that circular design with it. So if you weren't looking super closely, I'm sure you could probably confuse these things, but it's not until we get to the side where things will really start getting a little bit more complicated. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 is a much thinner watch than the Watch 5 Pro, and that is because of the battery sizes within them. So with the Watch 4, on the smaller size, you're getting a 247mAh battery. On the top one, you're getting 361mAh. On the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, you are getting a 590mAh battery within that watch. That is over twice the amount of size of that base model Galaxy Watch 4. So you are getting a much better battery life from that type of watch if you need it. Now, like I said, it's a pretty thick watch already, so if you don't really feel like you're already wasting your battery life on the Watch 4, or if you don't feel like you're going to be using your watch for days on end, then you'll probably be perfectly fine with the Galaxy Watch 4. But in my opinion, that is probably one of the best advantages of a Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. I mean, you have that humongous size battery. So in my opinion, somebody who is probably planning on going on hikes and you're planning on going in the forest and not coming back out for like a few days, then you're probably going to have a better time with the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. That's at least from my understanding. From using this watch, I mean, it stays on standby for a very long time, and it's probably one of the biggest batteries inside of a watch right now. But if you're somebody who just plans on putting on your watch in the morning, going through your day, and then pretty much coming back at night and charging your watch most of the time, I think the Galaxy Watch 4 is perfectly fine for that. You're probably not going to have too many complaints in that standpoint. Now, these watches have a lot of similar features when it comes down to it. So they actually have the same type of a RAM and the same amount of storage within it, which is very interesting. They apparently have the same chipsets inside, which is very, very interesting between these two. You have, the same type of wireless charging that these two things support. Bluetooth connectivity is a little bit better on the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, so you might have a little bit better of a connection, I would assume, with some newer devices that support that type of Bluetooth. And you actually do have the same type of IP certification and I guess, durability certifications between these two. So they are both IP68 dust and water resistant. They both are, fairly durable, but I just feel like with the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, that thing I feel like it can take a beating, because of the thickness within this. If I'm dropping it, yeah, it's a little bit thicker, so maybe a little bit heavier, but it honestly seems like if I were to throw it against a wall or something, I just have a feeling the Watch 5 Pro can probably handle that type of, durability. Now, I will also like to add, if you're talking about which one is the better value per dollar, I think a Galaxy Watch 4 is probably the better value per dollar. The Watch 5 Pro is a fairly expensive watch. It is not a cheap watch. You can just go, you can buy it, but I think from a value per dollar standpoint, you're probably getting a better experience from something like a Galaxy Watch 4 than the Watch 5 Pro. But one really awesome thing that Samsung's been doing recently is with a lot of their trade-in values, and not even that. If you're buying a Galaxy, phone, like a Fold or a Flip or a S22 or whatever, a lot of times they actually give you a ton of trade-in credits. So you can just go and buy, I bought my Watch 5 Pro, but I think $230 or $220. It was much cheaper than the standard. I think it's almost $500 for that type of watch, which was really cool. With the Watch 4 though, you can easily get it in the used market for much cheaper, and they're available on Amazon as well for a fairly good price, and I think you can still buy them on Samsung store as well. So those are pretty big things to keep in mind as well. Now, both these watches support some really cool features. So like I mentioned, if you have a Samsung watch, you can both wirelessly charge your devices from there. They are very good looking. lasting, they are, very durable. And honestly, when it comes down to it, is there a specific watch I prefer more? Well, honestly, it kind of comes down to this, right? I think a Watch 4 is a little bit more comfortable to me. I think a Watch 5 is kind of the blend between these two, but the Watch 4 is a little bit more of a comfortable watch. And because of that, it kind of makes a little bit more sense for me to use a Watch 4 on an everyday basis. And just because it works very well, and it's just not a super thick watch. But if I was somebody who was going out a lot and I was just depending on, going out all the time and my watch not dying and all that, well, I would probably depend on getting something like a Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. That probably would make a lot more sense to me. I think a Watch 5 Pro would be something a little bit more like that. But I do think the Watch 4 is still a very good watch, and you can't really go wrong with either one of these. The Watch 5 Pro, if you have all the money, go for that one. But the Watch 4 is still a very good watch that holds up very, very well against the Watch 5 Pro. So in terms of that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.